Monday with Wisconsin Rapids Mayor Shane Blaser. Mayor Blaser, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm well, thank you for having me today.
So it's a gorgeous day out here at Veterans Memorial Park here in downtown Wisconsin Rapids. So how have things been looking at the city here as the summer wraps up and we head towards fall?
Well, it's been a challenge, as obviously with COVID, but we're with city staff today. We started blowing out sprinklers, and we're starting to wrap things up and get it ready for fall, and eventually winter's shortly behind that.
Yeah, and speaking of the end of summer and beginning of fall, I've been having some trouble with the Aquatic Center here recently with some vandalism. What's kind of been happening lately since that area has been closed for most of the summer?
Yeah, so what's been happening is we've had some young adult issues with kids. They've damaged picnic tables, thousands of dollars worth of damage on picnic tables. We've had damage done in the restrooms over at the Aquatic Center that are open to the public during the day. So the police have been working on that and have caught quite a few of the people involved, but it caused the skate park and the restrooms to be shut down for a while. And then on Monday, our Park and Rec Commission reopened the facilities. They adjusted the hours on the restrooms, but with our brand new pickleball courts, it's seen an extremely a lot of activity out there that they need the restrooms open too. So we're trying to find that right balance, but also you hate to punish everybody for a few people's misdeeds, and so you're just trying to find that balance because the damage is just taxpayer damage then.
Right. And so how much of that has been cleaned up? How long did it take them to get that kind of figured out?
So the damage to the picnic tables, they need to be replaced. So they were able to be repaired. And damage to the restrooms, I haven't heard, but it was something our maintenance people were able to take care of though.
And speaking of things that happen outside, I know yesterday the police department announced they've canceled their trunk or treat for this year for Halloween. What has been kind of the talks with Halloween coming up and what that's going to look like in the age of COVID?
Yeah, so with the police department, it's unfortunate. It's a very successful event, and they thought for their reasons they wanted to do it for the safety because it attends such a large number of people, which is unfortunate, but we have to do what we have to do. As for normal trick-or-treating, I feel that, and I support that we continue it. If you're not, if you're concerned, you can leave your light off, stay at home. If you're out trick-or-treating or choose not to trick-or-treat, that's a choice, and you don't have to participate. And as we almost know, most people have a mask on already, so I'm hoping that the kids can get out and enjoy hopefully a nice evening, just depending on the weather. You never know. Yeah,
I feel like you can get pretty creative with Halloween costumes and masks anyway.
Absolutely, I agree, and this is a perfect environment where you can choose to participate or not, depending on your level of comfort or concern.
And then before we started rolling, you were mentioning that the city's looking at potentially changing some things when it comes to street assessments. What's kind of happening there?
So I'll try to make it real brief, but it's through special assessments. Long standard practice of many communities is to assess property owners on a street that is being replaced, upgraded, or improved, are assessed a portion of that project, and because they are directly benefiting from it. And it's a percentage. However, that percentage could equate to $7,000 to $15,000 of unplanned expense for most homeowners, which is really, it's a hardship. And so last year when I was on council and some of the other alderpersons, we asked city staff to look at doing a study to try to find out if there's other ways and what other communities are doing. So our engineering department spent a lot of time. They put together a 115-page study, which hopefully within the next couple of days will be on our website. And then it'll also explain different options that instead of a special assessment, we can have some other option. And it'll go into detail, and I have some explanations out there also. And but some of them could be a wheel tax. We're looking for input from the community, such as a wheel tax or increased wastewater fees. I particularly like the street utility, where we all put a little bit into the pot, and then when it comes to doing a special assessment, then we can take that out of that utility. So we're all putting a little bit at a time instead of a big payment.
So have you been talking then with other mayors in the area about what they do when it comes to this sort of issue?
So I have not communicated with any other mayors. However, our engineering department has spoken to other cities and other engineering departments to find out how they special assess and what model they use. And there is a wide variety out there. And most of the time, once it's established, that's something you do. but it's time to do something different. It's really a hardship and a burden on residents when they receive that kind of bill. None of us can afford that or want to pay for the street out in front of us. So I think by spreading it out amongst all of us, and we all support in those projects, because eventually it will directly impact us. It'll be my street someday too. And if we all support each other in doing that, I think it's fair and equitable that way.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of streets, we're at the height of construction season right now. What can residents expect to see on these Wisconsin Rapids streets over the next month or two?
Yeah, so luckily we're wrapping up a lot of our projects now, which is kind of nice. We have a great maintenance crew and construction crew. Our street department works hard along with our engineering department, and they got ahead of a schedule. And so they're looking to do some few small projects this fall yet, which will hopefully maybe a baby step a little bit ahead of the projects, but they'll never be caught up, unfortunately. However, they did a great job this season, and they have a little time in their window here that they can do a few other things.
And with kind of the outdoor season coming a little closer to a close, as we've seen temperatures fluctuate a lot here in central Wisconsin, what sort of things can residents look forward to in the fall season here in Rapids?
I think utilizing our parks and our open space, it'll be dependent on events. I think a lot of events will end up being canceled, but very near and dear to my heart, I think as most Wisconsinites who enjoy hunting, we can all go out in the woods and enjoy time with our family and friends in the woods, and whether it be bow hunting or gun hunting, and utilize that time for those kind of activities too.
And so obviously this year's looked really different. So what has the sort of COVID response been now for the city, now that we're like 6 months into this?
I think we're all just kind of getting used to this is the way it is at this point. However, I'm optimistic, and we need to get through this and kind of get back to normal in school, normal for our kids, normal especially for our businesses. So many businesses have struggled that we really need to get back to be able to patronize our businesses as we had done before.
Speaking about things getting back to normal in schools just started up here a couple of weeks ago. Have you heard from the district how that's been going so far?
Yeah, our district seems, I spoke to the superintendent, things are going well. Our young kids are in school full time, and our older students are doing a hybrid, a combination of in-person and virtual, and that seems to be working. And I'm hoping that I'd like to see it increase, and we can go 5 days a week if that would ever be possible, and hopefully we'll get to that point soon. But everything I've been hearing has been done safely and as best as possible.
Okay, I think that's about all I had prepared. Is there anything else you'd like to add or think people should know about happening here in Rapids in the next month or so?
I think we covered it really well this time.